Hello YouTube, this is Wheelchair21 coming at you with the rolling review for SHF Figuarts Masked Rider Abyss, Kamen Rider Abyss to be more exact for those of you at home. Well, Kamen Rider Abyss is obviously a Ryuki Rider design, yes, but as the logo says down here, it is from Kamen Rider Decade. He was an exclusive rider created for the show and was made to make an alternate reality for the Ryuki Rider, and then you found out he was the Paradox Undead from Blade World. The cool thing about this character is he was actually an idea of one of the lost concepts for a Ryuki Rider, which they then went and took the idea, redesigned it, all that jazz from the old, ideas that were lost in Toei's database, and just brought it back for the modern age. Now the box shows Abyss with all this wonderful baseline box to make it really look like a real Ryuki Rider. I mean, it has the whole advent way of how it will show broken mirror, broken glass, and then show each of its accessories, like the regular advents for strike vent, sword vent, its actual Tamashii stage, which is like the Ryuki Riders, how each one has a special one based on their deck alone, which is an awesome feature, let alone to have that this character, who is from the world of Kamen Rider Ryuki, not from the actual series, gets all the actual treatment as an official Ryuki Rider, which is just splendid and amazing. The actual figure itself obviously comes with 4 additional pairs of hands with an extra hand to hold the cards, which are shown here for its advent deck, along with 2 sword vents, his strike vent, which is based off of one of his contract monsters, and his actual visor, his shark visor, his abyss visor. And on the back of the packaging is the wonderful Tamashii stage right here, which has the name Kamen Rider Abyss, which is nicely taped all over the goddamn plastic seal for the actual character itself. Abyss now has wonderful points of articulation and details. And to start off with the actual details, this nice aquatic blue, which just is plated all over him, painted and such, is wonderful. I mean, this aquatic blue is so metallically beautiful with the shine and glimmer that it just resonates with me. I'm not a huge fan of the color blue, but when it's of a metallic detailed and this beautiful shades of aqua, cyan, all these wonderful different glorious hues of blue, it really is astonishing and just lovely. The best part about it are the fins and like how it has all these jagged designs for like teeth and such, like the mouth of a shark on the face and the chest. I mean, they really went really well featured and detailed on the legs, on the hips, the calves, the ankles, the actual forearms, the bicep, the actual main chest plate. I mean, this is just splendid. I mean, one of my favorite accessories is his actual head sculpt. It just looks so wonderful. I mean, this is probably one of the best rider designs we've ever gotten to not be from the actual show of its origins. I mean, it's just breathtaking. I love the design, and it's really beautiful details and features. One of the cool accessories is the actual fact that, like a Ryuki Rider, its advent deck is actually removable. And it's this small, little thin plastic piece, cod piece for the actual advent deck, the Ryuki belt. And it's really awesome that it actually can still do this and be removable, which is a great feature overall. Now, the points of articulation are the basics of a Tamashii figure. You have your shoulder, which is a little bit hindered because this actual shoulder joint is on a special ball-jointed hinge to allow it to move under these giant shoulder paddings. You have the basic elbow joint, the basic wrist and hand joints. You have the abdomen joint, the hip, the actual thigh, the double jointed knee, the ankle, which has a little bit of metal, I think, in it somewhere, from how it looks and is designed. It looks like the ankle joint is actually a small bit of metal of aluminum, like old-fashioned riders, and the toe joint. So they really put a lot of focus and detail in this figure. I mean, it's really beautiful. I mean, I don't know, it's just very breathtaking. I love the design of Abyss. It's just magnificent. It's one of my favorite designs to come out of Kamen Rider Decade and to be based off of a Ryuki rider, because Ryuki is one of my favorite Heisei riders. Now, he comes with few minor accessories, and to display him with his actual visor, you actually have to take off the fist and plug it into the visor itself to attach it, because this shark visor, the Abyss visor, looks like a magnificent torpedo cross between a shark and such, and actually has a little bit of articulation by actually having this joint to allow it to read the advent cards that come with the figure. Well, not read like aloud, but, you know, to scan, as if it was the real thing, and plugs in right on top of the ball joint. Now with this, he can summon all of his weapons, such as the swords, and his actual strike vent, which is another shark head, the strike vent itself, and slips over just the same as the actual Abyss visor. So I'm just going to take that off screen and place it on and go into the actual details and features of the actual visor itself. Now, Abyss's strike vent is this very beautiful lime green plating of a shark head of one of his actual advent monsters, because the two become actually Abyss Loader or whatever the name was, or Abyssaldon, the giant hammerhead saw shark that he used to fight in the final battle against Decade and Ryuki. Now, much like the Abyss visor, it has a joint here for the mouth to shoot the water from, and actually has a small joint to go back and forth, which allows it to be attached to his forearm. The cool part about this accessories is this makes it look like he has two shark hand boxing-like gloves and beam launchers. So when I'm usually at my other house where I stay, since I, live at two different houses, I usually have it displayed with my Godzilla effect parts, the thermonuclear beams coming out of the mouths, as a beam blast effect on my display case and the display shelf. And I really enjoy it because it is quite humorous, because the thermonuclear blasts do look like jet streams of water coming out of the mouths of these specific accessories for Abyss. Now, his Abyss sabers are just basic sabers, which were seen with his contract monsters that they're derived from in Ryuki, along with the actual Show of Decade. And in doing so, out of the 4 additional pairs of hands you receive, there's 2 different types. One for a more crescent way to hold the blades, and the straight way to just caress and take a hold of the blade. And it's simple replacement of the hands. Abyss's Abyss Slasher, as I said, is a generic blade, but wonderful detailed as its fins and jagged teeth. It's really great and features that of a shark, a great white specifically. Now, he does come with 2 to dual wield, but overall I don't see the sense of needing to dual wield unless he was fighting someone of superior fighting abilities like Odin, who also is a dual wielder when it comes to his sword vent. I honestly like how these are really amazing features for the details of the fact that they just reuse very simple contract monsters that were generic monsters for the show as his actual contract beasts. The whole design itself is just wonderful. My only irking sense is that these regular blues are not as wonderful and metallic as this aqua cyan shaded plating, because the actual strike vent would look beautiful with like metallic car blue all over it, and would just be a profound feature for that actual visor itself, because the drag visor with Ryuki is actually a metallic red, painted upon itself. Now, this rider is easy to obtain, easy to get a hold of, and he's a villain rider. He's dark, he's evil. So it's really great to have, because there's not that many few villainous riders released as of now. I think there's probably only 15 to 25. So that's great to have in comparison to how many heroic riders we've had over the years since Tamashii's been pumping out Figuarts based on these characters. Overall, I love the design. I like the character. It was a cool twist. It was a cool idea. So it's really intriguing, and I just love it. You can find this on websites like AmiAmi, CS Toys, Hobby Link Japan, Hobby Search, and possibly, I think, US Amazon has it now because of Bluefin Tamashii as a distributor. So I recommend people get it. If you're a fan of Ryuki or Dragon Knight, you'll like it because of how it's a generic design. If you're a fan of Decade and actually know of the character, it's well worth having. I mean, I really rank this as an A-class Figuart because the joints are just splendid. The articulation is not loose. It's not stuck. It just has a seamless flow to it. The details are just splendid, and the accessories are great. I mean, you get a Tamashii stage. The deck is actually removable, like Ryuki Riders. It actually comes with small little advent cards, and has the sword vent, strike vent, and they just blend well together. So overall, I've been Wheelchair21. You can like, comment, subscribe to me here on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter. You can check me out on Instagram at Taja_Doyle. You can also check me out over at Hirotaku, because we're with Heroes, where we post articles, reviews, and several other columns based on heroes and comic book characters and video games. Along with that, check out Raijo Nihon's Hirotaku programming for Morphin Bracers, Anisatsu Podcast, the Ultracast, Toku Anime News, WRW, and the Unichronicles, and much, much more. And we'll see you next time, as this has been the rolling review for Kamen Rider Abyss, from the hit series Kamen Rider Decade based on the Ryuki Riders. And we will see you next time.